The Philippines energy crisis. Have you ever wondered why you pay so much for your electricity? The Philippines has 117 power plants, yet power produced is not sufficient to meet the country's demand for sustainable energy. Energy production in the Philippines is inefficient. Plants such as the Malaya Oil Thermal Plant in Manila, Macban Geothermal Power Plant in Laguna, and hydro dams in the Mindanao region experience time-to-time breakdowns which cause adverse effect in the power generation. Because of this and other serious reasons, energy crisis is experienced in the Philippines, causing regular power shortages and daily blackouts, giving Filipinos the burden to pay too much for an unsatisfactory service. As of 2013, the price of electricity in the Philippines is the highest among Asian countries and ninth in the world. Consumers pay 11.14 pesos per kilowatt hour, equivalent to 0.25 US dollars. It even surpassed developed countries such as Japan with 0.24 US dollars and Singapore with 0.23 US dollars. It isn't even comparable with neighboring countries with 0.15 for Thailand, 0.10 for Malaysia, 0.09 for China, and 0.05 for Indonesia. These Asian countries have low rates because their electricity is being subsidized by their respective governments. On the contrary, suffrage of consumers in the Philippines is primarily caused by government's futile efforts to develop a comprehensive national strategy that would efficiently and sustainably address the power needs of the country. There are enough power plants to produce energy in the Philippines, so how come energy crisis still persists? The government's strategy targets solely the supply side management and ignores the demand side management. Their focus lies in supplying great amount of energy for the continually increasing demand of the consumers. However, the government's efforts lack particularity on how to reduce the demand of energy from the consumers. There are no attempts to properly orient the general public on how to minimize their energy usage. Thus, what they do is constantly providing energy to the increasing demand, but they do not try to cut down the demand itself. Moreover, the Philippine government's main solution focuses on the construction of new power plants without considering what will be its adverse socio-cultural and environmental effects. Regarding these new power plants as solution to the energy crisis, the reform agenda presented by Department of Energy Director Tamang on September 2013 focused on the utilization of non-renewable sources such as coal reserves and natural gas reserves. As a matter of fact, aside from its non-sustainability, these energy sources can emit detrimental heavy metals as well as deadly pollution and radiation to the environment. These projects of the government usually receive socio-cultural and environmental protests due to lack of considerations to the human and environmental welfare. In addition to that, Environmental Compliance Certificate or ECC is issued by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources to environmental critical areas such as Palawan to exploit possible energy reserves. Thus, various organizations are actively opposing such projects, imposing ineffectiveness of such plans. Furthermore, limitations of planning process of the Philippine government can be seen in the debts acquired by the country from loans that is intended to finance the construction of the power plants. Nonetheless, some of these plants never operated and some were never put up to begin with due to the socio-cultural and environmental costs. Regarding these problems, 3 resolutions are proposed. First, the government should start to diversify its efforts to use renewable and sustainable energy options such as solar energy, hydro-based energy, wind energy, and geothermal energy sources to reduce socio-cultural and environmental impacts. Second, the government should act to promote energy and use efficiency and conservation schemas to the general public to address its demand-side management problems. And lastly, the government should make effort to reorient its planning process such that socio-cultural and environmental considerations had been taken into account before actually implementing the plan.